India's economy doubled, then why is the passport so far behind? Imagine an Indian businessman arriving at the airport in the dead of night. The passport is in his hand, the deal files are in his laptop bag, and written on the board in front is, "Flight to Europe." He has money, he has a company, he has a ticket, he has a hotel booking, but still, he cannot sit on the plane. The reason is just one: the visa has not been approved yet. This is where the real question begins. Why is the passport of a country whose economy nearly doubled in 10 years, and which is being counted among the fastest growing big economies in the world, still stuck at the 80th position? Highways are being built in India, airports are increasing, digital payments are surprising the world, startups are becoming unicorns, yet the Indian passport is unable to make a place in the top 50 of the world. At first glance, this matter seems strange. Common thinking says precisely this: if the country becomes rich, the passport will be powerful. But in the world of passports, money does not write the entire story. A passport is not just a booklet. It is a signal to other countries of how safe, trusted and manageable it is considered to give entry to this passport holder. According to the Henley Passport Index 2026, the Indian passport is in 80th place. Indian passport holders can go to around 56 destinations with visa-free, visa on arrival or ETA facilities. But on the other side, there are almost 170 destinations where Indians have to go through the traditional visa process before travel. Meaning the passport is open for sure, but the world is not completely open yet. Compared to last year, an improvement is visible in the rank, but the question is why the improvement is so slow. The economy is running fast, but why is the passport moving slowly? Its answer is hidden not in GDP, but in trust. GDP tells how big the country's total economy is. The passport tells how easily the world gives entry to that country's citizens. America is the largest economy in the world, yet it does not always remain number one in the passport ranking. Many small European countries move ahead of it in travel freedom. China's economy is far bigger than India's, but its passport is also not in the top 50. This means clearly that economic size and passport power do not have a direct relation. On the other hand, the passports of countries like Japan, Germany, France, Italy and Singapore have remained strong for a long time. The strength of these countries is not just GDP, but rather trust, diplomacy and reciprocal access. The UAE is considered the fastest example of this. Until a few years ago, its passport was in the middle ranking, but aggressive diplomacy and visa agreements pushed it very high in the race for global mobility. Passport ranking is not absolute, it is relative. This means that even if India gets access to 2 new countries but other countries do agreements with 5 new countries, India's rank can still stay behind. The method of Henley ranking looks very simple, but its impact is very big. If a passport holder gets entry to a destination without a pre-approved visa, he gets 1 point. Facilities like visa-free entry, visa on arrival, and ETA increase the score. But if the traveler has to take an embassy visa or a government-approved e-visa beforehand, no point is received from that destination. The difference between ETA and e-visa is also very important. ETA is generally considered a quick authorization, whereas in an e-visa there is a formal approval, documents and a waiting process. This is where many people fall into confusion. If a country starts an online visa, travelers get convenience, but in passport ranking it is not always counted like visa-free access. Now the real question comes as to what other countries look at while giving visa-free entry. They do not look only at how big India's GDP is. They look at per capita income. That means what the average citizen's income is. The total economy can be big, but if the average income is much less than developed countries, the migration risk is considered high. Migration risk means the fear that the traveler will come as a tourist but will not go back. He can overstay, do an informal job or misuse the asylum system. This matter might sound harsh to hear, but in visa policy, countries take decisions not with emotion but with risk calculation. In this very calculation, India still has to struggle in many places. India's population is very large. If any developed country gives visa-free entry to Indians, the potential traveler volume can be very big. Therefore, they remain more cautious. The passports of small countries are sometimes more powerful precisely because the number of their travelers is low, the income level is high, and the overstay risk is considered low. European countries also get the benefit of the Schengen system. Inside one region, mutual travel freedom makes many passports strong automatically. Citizens of countries like Germany, France, Italy or Spain get the benefit of not just bilateral diplomacy, but European integration. That is why their passport mobility remains very stable. Countries like Japan and Singapore also get the benefit of high income, strong documentation, low migration risk, and diplomatic credibility. The world considers their travelers relatively low risk. India's story is different. India is a massive, developing, democratic, and diverse country. Very rich people are here too, the middle class is here too, and lakhs of people want to go outside in search of better employment. This very diversity makes passport policy complicated. On one side, Indian professionals are running global companies. On the other side, visa officers also assess overstay and illegal work risk. If we look at history, the ranking of the Indian passport has been revolving between 70 and 90 for a long time. This is not a weakness that came suddenly, but rather a long-time story of slow mobility. In 2006, India was around the 71st position. At that time, the global travel system was also not as digital and competitive as today, yet India was not in the top tier. By 2012, the ranking weakened and reached the 82nd position. The meaning of this was that other countries were making access agreements faster than India. In 2015, the Indian passport went down to the 88th position, which is counted among the weak phases. This was the time when competition in global mobility was increasing. In 2018, some recovery happened and India came to the 81st position. But recovery was not steady, because visa policies keep changing country by country. The COVID pandemic gave a shock to the travel freedom of the entire world. Borders closed, health restrictions were applied, and the power of passports temporarily started feeling weak. In 2024, India saw a better level in terms of travel freedom, when Indian passport holders got easier access to 62 destinations. But this peak did not remain stable for long. In 2026, the rank is around 80, and access is around 56 destinations. Meaning, improvement is visible in the ranking, but actual access has not increased as fast as is expected. That is why experts say that in the last 10 years, India got the benefit of only a few new destinations on a net basis, whereas top passports added 10 to 20 destinations during this very period. There is an interesting twist here. Sometimes the rank improves but visa-free destinations decrease. This happens because the ranking runs on relative comparison. If the access score of many countries falls even lower, India can come up despite having less access. Therefore, it is difficult to understand the full picture just by looking at the rank. Some policy changes also affect the score. If any country changes a visa on arrival to an e-visa system, the traveler gets the convenience online, but the impact in the Henley score can be different. In recent times, destinations like Malaysia and the Philippines have made access easier for Indian travelers. Because of tourism and economic benefits, many countries want to attract Indians. But a major part of the visa-free access that the Indian passport gets is in Africa, the Caribbean, Southeast Asia and island nations. Developed Western economies still demand a traditional visa process. This very gap is felt by the Indian traveler. He can plan a trip to Thailand or Malaysia quickly, but for the US, UK, Canada or Schengen, he has to bear documents, appointments and waiting. For a businessman, this delay is not just an inconvenience, it is an opportunity cost. A meeting can be missed, a deal can be delayed, and an international event can slip away from the hand. For students, the visa process is even more emotional. The admission letter arrives, the loan gets sanctioned, but until the visa approval, the family's heartbeat remains stuck. For a tourist family too, passport power directly becomes a life experience. A European family plans a trip on the weekend, an Indian family prepares a visa file months in advance. Therefore, passport ranking is not just a matter of elite travel. This is the everyday reality of business, education, tourism, medical travel and global opportunity. India, from its side, has made entry easy for foreign visitors through the e-visa program. But getting reciprocal visa-free access from other countries is a different diplomatic challenge. Reciprocity means that if you give easy entry to our citizens, we will also give it to your citizens. But every country does this balance according to its security and migration concerns. If India gives too much visa-free entry, concerns regarding security, overstaying, and border management can increase. Therefore, a balance between an open policy and a safe policy is necessary. The way to increase passport power is not just one. In this, bilateral agreements, strong documentation, better border data sharing, low fraud perception and consistent diplomacy work together. The credibility of the Indian passport has already become better. Biometric systems, digital records, faster passport services and stronger identity verification have improved document security. But along with document security, the global perception will also have to be changed. The world should have this trust that the Indian traveler comes for a genuine purpose and follows the rules. This perception is not made only by the government. Students, tourists, workers, agents, consultants and the travel ecosystem all together make the country image. If cases of fake documents, visa fraud or illegal overstay increase, its impact falls on millions of genuine travelers. One wrong pattern can increase suspicion toward the entire nationality. This is the very reason that passport strength is not the responsibility of only the foreign ministry. This is linked with national discipline, legal migration, and responsible travel behavior as well. The more inclusive India's economy is, the stronger the passport can become. When the average income increases, return probability increases, and migration desperation decreases, the risk calculation of countries will change. Per capita income is a very big factor here. India is a large economy in total GDP, but the average income is still far behind developed countries. This is the paradox. A country can be among the global top economies, but its common passport holder can still go through strict scrutiny. China showed a fast improvement in passport mobility in the last decade because it continuously worked on diplomatic engagement and outward mobility policies. India will also have to increase speed in this very race. The story of the UAE tells that targeted diplomacy can change a passport very quickly. But the UAE's population, income profile and geopolitical strategy are quite different from India. For India, the path is long because the scale here is very big. The world does not look at the mobility policy of a country with a population of more than 140 crores like a small country. Still, calling the Indian Passport Week would be incomplete. It is better than before. Millions of people are traveling, and the Indian presence is increasing in global education, tech, business and tourism. The real problem is not weakness, it is speed. The economy is in the fast lane, but passport mobility is currently running in the diplomatic slow lane. If India works on more visa waiver agreements, trusted traveler programs, and stronger migration management in the next decade, a big change can be visible in the passport ranking. Aadhaar redacted. But this change will not come just from the headline. For this, years of negotiation, data sharing, security trust, and global confidence will have to be built. Today, an Indian passport holder standing in line at the airport does not wait just for a stamp. He waits for the global acceptance of his country too. When a visa officer opens a passport, he does not look only at the person. He also looks at that country's economy, income level, migration history, security system, and diplomatic relations. This is the biggest truth of this story. GDP shows the country's factory, market, and consumption power, but the passport shows the limit of the world's trust in the country. India's economy doubling is a matter of pride. But to take the passport to the top tier, not just growth, but deeper prosperity and wider trust are needed. The day big borders of the world start opening for the Indian passport without a long file, on that day India's strength on the global stage will be visible not just in GDP numbers, but also in the travel freedom of the common citizen.
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible. But in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.